I remember as a young player with St. Francois, we would go to the panyard and so on and take out pans because we just know, look at tenor, take it out, play. And sure enough, there's this one particular guy, he will come and take our pans and put them inside and bring out some old rusty-looking pans for us to play. Because the thinking was, God, these little girls, they can't play no pan, they'll mash up our pans. Like what are we doing? You know? But that was the whole thinking, that these girls can't play pan, they're going to mash up the pans and so on and so on. I remember when Bugsy came up with the concept for the song, Woman is Boss. There were a couple players, or one player in particular, who said he wasn't playing that song because the title is Woman is Boss. A woman is no boss as far as he's concerned. And Bugsy told him, well, he could leave and all of the door there. That's the name of the song. And the guy didn't play.
Especially in those times, it would have had a lot more male persons playing, especially in phase 2. Not a lot of females, and not a lot on double seconds. So we had Michelle on tenor, we had Susie on double seconds. I don't remember another female besides Susie on double seconds in that period. And I heard a guy saying, who she feels she is. What does he mean by that statement? Who he feel he is. Some part of my personality loves a challenge. It didn't really bother me too much that, it wasn't a welcoming space. And I also have a deep love for the instrument. And then that married with Bugsy's music, how could you keep me away? How could I stay away?
Women, over time, have shown their ability to be excellent pan players. They are now arranging and doing well. They adjudicate. We now have female pan tuners coming into the fray, and I think that is a very special brand of female too, because pan tuning is no easy thing, no easy task, and it is a very male-dominated. It's probably the only male-dominated, well, to that extent, left to be conquered, so to speak, by women.
In tuning, building of pans, somebody might think, oh, well, nah, that's too heavy for a woman to tote, so we go send the fellas. Men naturally are stronger. But I don't mean that females not strong as well. As a captain, I used to move 2 sets of 6 bass by myself. I think we just need to be aware that women are capable and continue to encourage it and encourage the encouragement of it.
I believe I'm pretty strong as a woman, and I thought I could do it. I have this stubborn side of me, and I didn't want any reasons to stop me from doing it. So, I'm a woman, but I didn't want that to be the reason for me not to learn how to build. So I started building under the late Dr. Clifford Alexis, and I would hold a 6-pound sledgehammer, and I would just continue to build. And now I do remember there were some male students who were learning to build as well. And just me being somewhat competitive, I wanted to make sure that, I was doing as long as they were, and I was doing a good job. And, it didn't matter that I'm a woman, so, and I enjoyed building. So making a pan, an instrument that I loved and I play, was just so fun.
In terms of even arranging, even to me, those of us who are involved, seemingly respected and so on, I still don't think there are sufficient opportunities or equal opportunities for women to be arrangers. It has to be born out of some, I don't know, a good recommendation, or maybe I have to win 20 Panorama somewhere or something. But I still don't find that there's sufficient equal opportunities for females to arrange.
One of my biggest challenges is the disparity in what I'm paid for doing the same job as my male counterparts. And it's a topic that most people don't want to go there with, and they don't want to acknowledge that it is a reality. But in my experience, I have been paid half the amount of my male counterpart doing the same job. And at first when I asked, well, why? Is that they take it or leave it?
Women are not as heralded, maybe, as the guys. One of the challenges I still face is a sense of my music has a gender. That's the way I think of it. So it's almost like, as a woman do that too, I would be on the drag and I would hear the comments. Now a lot of people don't know what I look like. So I'd be just in the middle of them and they talking, and it's a woman do that too, yeah, boy, she bad boy. And it's like, so what? If you didn't know that, could you tell the difference between a woman doing it and a man? I guess it's the novelty of it, which it shouldn't be, because we've had Michelle Huggins-Watts and we've had Natasha around for so long, mashing up with Panorama and all of that. We've had all of that. We've had Miss Daisy, the first female. But somehow, it's almost like, oh, who is that woman? And everybody, we're a spectacle. And then there's a not so nice side of it where you, as a female, you feel like you're in a space you shouldn't or you have no right to be in. And, what do you call rivalry among arrangers kind of brings that out. And it transfers and spreads to the players because players are loyal to their arrangers. So you get the guys, I think they're just scared. They will get beat by a girl. So you get some of that, that energy coming out. But after Panorama, everything is fine. It's just a little tense around that time, But it's a challenge that I don't really pay it any mind. I mean, I've been hurt. I've cried after Panoramas. I've heard comments like commentators and people that you think shouldn't say certain things. I have. I can't lie about that. But it hasn't deterred me.
One very important thing that we are not talking about is that idea of young women in the panyard being among other older, I would say, men who may be predators. And it's something that we don't talk about often enough, that we absolutely need to talk about, especially if we're women in leadership roles, right? If I am standing in a leadership role as a female panist, then I should be taking this opportunity to make the panyard and to make Steelpan communities safe for not just young girls, but young boys, young everybody, right? And not just young, also middle-aged, also older. So there are definitely steps in a direction that we should be taking to make sure, by putting certain things in place, certain policies in place, holding people to those policies, having consequences, serious consequences to any sort of breaking of those rules. And it's something that we should talk about more. It is something that we should pursue more because, and I'm not saying this happens everywhere, I don't want my words to be misconstrued, but I think we definitely need to take those steps to make sure that everywhere is safe when it comes to the Steelpan communities. Asami's death really took a different direction, I think, for me, and I think for a lot of other people too. It caused us to take a different direction. And when I mean a different direction, mentally, and how you think about certain things. Just looking at how that whole situation happened. You know, for me, as soon as that happened, I just kept thinking, could this have been avoided? Could this have been avoided? What could we have done to make sure that this did not happen? It's certainly a difficult thing to think about, because I think people might still be angry. I mean, I feel like I'm still angry, you know, that something like this could have happened here in Trinidad. When I attended Florida State University, we had training in sexual harassment. We had training in how you should conduct yourself professionally, what is inappropriate, what is not, what is appropriate, how to interact with professionals, how to interact casually, how to, you know, so there was like all these training things, and I didn't really take it. I was like, all right, fine, I get it. All right, I'm just gonna move on with my life. But I just started thinking about these things again. Actually, one meeting that I had with the management of Trinidad All Stars, I raised it. And I said, listen, if we're having a conversation about my role at Trinidad All Stars and kind of creating a Steelpan that, you know, we want to see certain things for All Stars, when you're talking about the longevity and we're talking about all these things that All Stars, you know, we want All Stars to do. For me, I felt it very important in that opportunity to speak up and say, listen, we also need to make certain policies in place so that we can make the panyard an even safer place, right? Not that the panyard isn't safe, but I feel as though there are things that we can do that can ensure the safety of our members, ensure the safety of people who are coming to visit us, because they are our responsibility. Right? If you come into the panyard as a young female, right, and we are Trinidad All Stars, you need to be feeling safe inside the panyard. So I did raise that, you know, with the management of All Stars, and they were very receiving of it. So I really look forward to putting certain things in place so that we can ensure that we don't just let things go. So then a next Asami situation happens. It's just unacceptable. It's very hard for me to sit here and just accept that and just say, okay, well, that happened, too bad, let's move on. No, unacceptable.